Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series, Premonition of Premutation. This is one of NECA's San Diego Comic-Con exclusives in 2022. This set is going to feature Bebop, Rocksteady, Hamato Yoshi, and Baxter Stockman, all in their human form before they were mutated. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging. As you can see at the top, Nickelodeon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the animated series, Premonition of Premutation. Bebop, Rocksteady, Baxter, and Hamato Yoshi. Top, Ninja Turtles. One side, Turtles. Other side, Turtles. This way to the computer room. The bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode if that somehow happens to help anybody. On the back side, you can see all four of these guys. Looks like we have a camera in each one. Hamato Yoshi, Baxter Stockman, Bebop, and Rocksteady. Of course, this package can open. You can see the contents inside. Open up the front, you can hear the Velcro. On the inside here, we've got all four of these figures. Baxter, Hamato Yoshi, Bebop and Rocksteady, and an absolute ton of accessories. So with no further ado, let's open them up. Alright, now that we got these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. And boy do they come with a lot of accessories. They are loaded to the gills with all the bells and whistles. As you can see, each figure has a bunch of regular accessories and a bunch of alternate hands. This set really appealed to me because they're a bunch of regular figures. Civilians, thugs, scientists, ninja, sensei. It's all really cool stuff. I don't collect a lot of the TMNT animated stuff as it's a little bit too small for what I like. I love the movie stuff, but the animated figures are shorter than I want. But I had to get this set. It's right up my alley with regular civilian characters I can use in a ton of different displays. We've got Baxter Stockman, Hamato Yoshi, Bebop, and Rocksteady. I'd actually forgotten Bebop and Rocksteady ever had regular, non-mutated looks in the show. This set is called Premonition of a Premutation. So basically it's all four of these characters before they got mutated into Baxter the Fly, Splinter, Bebop, and Rocksteady. In this video, we're going to take a look at each of the figures individually. We'll check out their accessories, height, and articulation, and then we'll compare them with a bunch of other figures. So, let's start off with Baxter. So let's take a look at Baxter Stockman. He is by far the smallest of these figures. He comes with a bunch of stuff. 4 alternate hands totaling 6 interchangeable hands. A Mauser, what appears to be a butterfly net. A little jar with shrunken turtles in it. And he also has a heat seeker, turtle scope, and a Sarnathometer. Before I look at those, let's check him out. He definitely has that mad scientist vibe. Pretty cool. Glasses, unkept hair, bow tie, sweater, lab coat. And you can see it's sort of cel-shaded, that animated look to it. The back, it's got a little bit of blue tint to it. He's got, I don't think they're jeans. Maybe they are. I would imagine he's supposed to have dress slacks on of some sort. Tennis shoes. Double-jointed knees, double-jointed elbows done in that ugly NECA style when they do it like that with the extra piece between. Not a big fan. Pretty good looking face though. And speaking of his face, here's a closer look. You can see those glasses sort of hanging down over his nose. I do think it looks very well done. And here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's take a look at his accessories, and let's start off with his hands. He's got a total of 6 hands, 3 right hands, 3 left hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here he is with his next set of hands. His left hand is a large gripping hand, and his right hand is a pointing hand. And here's his final set of hands. Both are gripping hands. The right hand has a little bit of a smaller grip than the left. Now let's look at this Mauser. This is the first and only Mauser that I have. I've thought about getting the Mauser set, but I really just don't think I need it. It's got 2 legs here. They're robotic. They do have articulation. It's got articulation at the ankle and the knee, and then at sort of the hip area. You can see that head. He's ready to munch, eat some rats or some turtles. Head can rotate, go up and down. It's on a nice ball joint there. And of course, he's got jaw articulation. Can open up. It has nice detail on the inside too. Now let's look at his heat-seeking turtle scope. As you can see, it's got a little handle at the bottom, kind of a turtle shell here, 2 little holes to attach the 2 little levers back there. When I first saw these things in the package, I was like, what the hell are these? I thought this thing was like, I don't know, a really small sort of bat for those mini turtles. But then I saw these holes here and realized what to do. Attach these things, and you've got a couple different knobs to control the heat seeker. Here's Baxter holding this accessory. I will point out these knobs are incredibly loose, and I don't like that. You turn this thing upside down, they're going to fall right out. Now let's look at the sarnathometer. It's got sort of a triangular top, a little disc inserted in the front, and the handle. And here he is, holding this accessory. Now let's look at his butterfly net. This is probably used to catch those mini turtles. It's got a mesh net, pink rest of it. It's sort of bendable, you can sort of squish it in there. It's not really made of a cloth netting material, just a softer plastic, so be careful how much you squeeze it. And here's Baxter, getting ready to catch some butterflies, or maybe some turtles. And then he has this little jar. It contains these miniature turtles. At the top has those holes in it. It looks like you can almost shake some red pepper flakes. This would be good onto a pizza or onto some turtle soup. One cool thing about these, you can actually open the top. And you can take these turtles out. They're small. They're shrunken turtles. They're not baby turtles. Paint detail is there. Of course, nothing on their faces. It's still a pretty cool prop. Pop them back inside. Pop on the lid. And voila, there you go. And even Baxter's largest gripping hand is not big enough to hold this thing. Try to put it in there. Just falls right out. Just does not work. Now they've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories. Now let's check out his height. And this is a small figure. I believe these animated turtle stuff are supposed to be 1/12 scale, 6-inch scale. And I can accept some of these guys being smaller. 6-inch scale pretty much means a 6-foot person is going to be 6 inches tall. 1 foot for each inch. This guy here, from bottom to the top of his head, is staying at about 4.75 inches tall, which can translate to about 12 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. And these figures are quite stiff, although I've been messing with this guy for a while, so I think I freed everything up. You might consider dipping these guys into some boiling water to gently free up the joints. So starting with his head here, of course, you can rotate from side to side. Look up and down about that far. You can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes out a little bit less than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got the double jointed elbows that Neca sometimes does, and I hate this style. It just looks bad. The middle part, it's smaller than the top part and the bottom part. I don't like it. There's a rotation at the top, rotation at the bottom. Here's his elbow going all the way in. Then his wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Seems like his torso is one solid piece. His waist, he's got a ball joint, rotate around, go forward and back. Legs, go out about this far. Ball joints, rotation, then go forward pretty nicely. Back, not much. Double jointed knees, and his jacket really doesn't give you a lot of clearance, but they can go all the way in. Then his ankle here goes forward and back just the tiniest little bit. Really no rotation, but he can tilt and rock a tiny bit as well. Now let's look at Hamato Yoshi. He comes with a bunch of stuff. 5 alternate hands, totaling 7 interchangeable hands. A fighting stick, a glass jar, and some baby turtles. Sensei, Master, he has a lot of titles. He's also pretty small. His face, very serious, very stern, yet animated, Japanese. He's got a white streak through his hair. He's got this sort of red or almost purple outfit. A couple logos here. Going further down, he's got these gray and black striped pants. Double jointed knees. Single jointed elbow. Bare feet. And a closer look at his face sculpt. Not bad. For an animated turtle figure, he's very serious and stern looking. I like the lines on his face. They definitely add to the figure, to his personality. And here's the figure broken down as far as he can go. All of his accessories laid out. And now let's check out said accessories. Let's start off with the hands. He's got a total of 7 hands. 3 right hands, 4 left hands. Here's his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here's his next pair of hands. These are some karate chopping hands. And then his next pair of hands. 2 standard gripping hands. And he's got 1 alternate left hand. This is a larger gripping hand. Now let's look at his fighting stick. It's a brown stick. Really nothing special to report here. It kind of looks like it's made of wood with little lines through it. Here he is, holding the stick. Donatello would be jealous. He can hold the staff with 1 hand, or with 2. Now let's look at this glass dome with these baby turtles. Turtles are all the same. They're very small. You can see the sculpted turtle shell. Little turtle head and legs. And the inside of the shell. Then we have this glass jar, which the turtles came in when he found them in the sewer. And of course, these baby turtles fit right into the jar. Here they are, next to the baby animated turtle Slash. Then, next to the baby movie turtles. These guys are sort of starting their mutagen phase. You can make a pretty cool little montage. The small baby turtles, then they're growing up, then they become fully Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now let's check out his height. And he's small, but not nearly as small as Baxter. From bottom to the top, staying about 5.3 inches tall, which can translate to about 13.5 centimeters. Now let's check out the articulation. Start with his head. Rotate from side to side, up and down about that much. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders, the ball joint goes out a little bit less than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. Single jointed elbow goes in about 90 degrees. Rotation. His wrist, rotate. It's going to be hinged as well. Torso is one solid piece. Ball joint in the waist, rotate around, forward and back. Legs, almost does the splits. Ball joints, they can rotate independently of the ball. Forward about that far. Back, not much. He's got these double jointed knees, but they're very tight, and they really don't look that good. It's a unique style of pants, and it's hard to make those look good. His ankles here, forward and back. Rotate, a little cut up there, and tilt, rock. Now let's look at Bebop. It's a typical sort of 80s black thug or gangster. The red jacket gives me a Michael Jackson type vibe. These are a perfect product of the time. Straight 80s looking street thug. He's got that purple mohawk at the top, purple shades, the earring. Very stereotypical. Big popped up collar, black jacket, got zippers on it, he's got a white undershirt. Looks like single jointed elbows. He's got these little sort of, I don't know, bracelet type things. Belt, black pants, double jointed knees, single elbows. It's pretty cool. And here's his face and head sculpt. The shades, one eyebrow sort of cocked up. Looks good. Very 80s. And here's Bebop broken down as far as he can go. All of his accessories laid out. Now let's take a look at those accessories. We'll start off with the hands. He's got 6 hands. 3 right hands, 3 left hands. Here's his first pair of hands. These are his fists. Here's his next pair of hands. 2 gripping hands with a really large grip. And here's his final 2 hands. His right hand is a gripping hand with a much smaller grip. His left hand is another large gripping hand. I think it's more so intended to grip the graffiti spray paint. But his other two hands, they look almost exactly the same, but maybe they were a little bit more of grabbing hands than gripping hands. He also has his bat. Good looking bat. It's animated, but you could easily use it with any of your figures. Here's Bebop holding his bat. You can hold it with either one hand, or you can hold it with one hand gripping the handle and one hand supporting the rest of the bat. He also has his crowbar. Stereotypical thug or henchman type weapon. All done in gray. It's got a little fork at the top and at the bottom. And here's Bebop holding the crowbar, getting ready to hurt somebody or break into something. Now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, staying at about 6.2 inches tall, which can translate to just about 16 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the mohawk, about 6.7 inches tall. Now for his articulation. Start with his head here. Rotate side to side. Forward and back that much. Can't tilt from one side to the other. Nice ball joint. Shoulders, also on a ball joint, about 90-degree bend. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. Elbow, single jointed, goes in about 90 degrees. Rotation. Wrists, rotate, and they're hinged as well. Ball joint his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Legs, almost complete as the splits. Ball joints, rotate independently of the ball. They go forward about that far, back, not much. Double jointed knees, they go all the way in. Then his ankle here, forward and back. No real rotation, but there's tilt and rock. Here's Rocksteady. 4 alternate hands, totaling 6 interchangeable hands. A boombox, a chain, 2 canisters of spray paint, and a bat. Now, all these accessories could easily work with Bebop instead. In fact, some of these have to work with Bebop. These spray canisters, there's no way Rocksteady's hands will hold those. They're a pretty cool pair. 80s style thugs, all kind of weapons. So let's take a look at them. Short hair, kind of fat dude, looking kind of angry. He's got that kind of shaved head around the sides. He's got the vest on, some little pockets in the front, yellow t-shirt, camo pants, some boots, and a closer look at his face and head sculpt. And here he is, broken down as far as he can go. Now let's check out those accessories, starting off with the hands. He's got a total of 6 different hands, 3 left and 3 right. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. Here's his second pair of hands. These are a couple of gripping hands. And here's his final pair of hands. I'm not sure exactly how to describe these hands. Kind of some weird open hands. Seems kind of useless for the accessories. Here's his boombox. Large, blocky, animated. All these accessories just scream 80s punk and thugs. He can hold the boombox at his side with these weird kind of hands. I guess they're designed for the boombox. He can also hold the boombox over his shoulder. Typical 80s style. You can imagine this guy in the bus bothering everyone around him. Now we have these 2 cans of spray paint in the package. They were next to Rocksteady, but they obviously belong to Bebop. Both these guys would be perfect spray painting the wall, vandalizing stuff, but I think Bebop's the only one that can actually hold these. Here's Bebop holding the spray paint can. The detailing is very nice. Look at the tip there. Very well done. Here's Rocksteady's bat. It's wooden, not a traditional baseball bat. Almost just like a piece of wood. You can see the black lines through there. Here's Rocksteady holding his bat. We also have this chain. It's a real metal chain. If you want to, you could probably use it as like a keychain or something, but that would be a horrible waste of your accessory. Here's Bebop holding this chain. It'll work with either one of the figures, but I think it looks a little bit better with him. Just matches the overall sort of look of the guy. Now let's check out his height. And this is a short, fat thug guy. bottom to top of his head, 5.4 inches tall, about 13.5 centimeters. Now for his articulation. Start with his head. Of course, going to rotate from side to side, look forward and back about that much. He's got a ball joint, can rotate and move all the way around. Shoulders, also on a ball joint, goes out less than 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. He has a single jointed elbow, goes in more than 90 degrees with rotation. His wrist rotates, and it's going to be hinged as well. Ball joints waist, rotate around, forward and back. Legs, almost as splits. Ball joints, rotation is about like that. They go forward about that far, back, not too much. Does have double jointed knees, go back all the way, which is kind of remarkable. Ankle here, forward and back, tilt, rock, no real traditional rotation. Here's Baxter Stockman working in his lab, developing all kind of different stuff. Here's Baxter in another lab type scenario. Here's Hamato Yoshi in the dojo, doing his ninja training. The same ninja moves he'll eventually teach the turtles. Here's Bebop and Rocksteady using their spray paint, spraying graffiti all over this brick wall. Here are the 4 figures in the background that came with a package. Hamato Yoshi with his staff, Baxter Stockman with his device, and then Bebop and Rocksteady with their weapons. Really cool figure set. Accessories are fantastic. Now let's check them out next to some other action figures. We'll start off by checking out each of these figures individually with some relevant and similar type figures, and then we'll check them all out next to some action figures from different various companies. We'll start off with Baxter Stockman. So Baxter Stockman here, obviously this is his human form before he got mutated into Baxter the Fly. He looks like a mad scientist, lab coat on, lab technician, that sort of stuff. Here's Baxter Stockman next to a NECA doc from Back to the Future. This is the old 50s version. Not exactly in a lab coat, but he's another mad scientist type character. Here's Baxter next to a couple of Diamond Select Gotham figures. These are both Edward Nygma. One of them is him when he worked for the police station, and the other one is just a head swap for another lab technician or scientist. And then here he is next to a Diamond Select Toys Battlestar Galactica figure on the left. I thought with her jacket she looked like she could be working in a lab. And then a Dr. Harleen Quinzel from DC Direct Arkham Origins on the right. And here, next to a couple of Mezco Breaking Bad figures. They're mostly in sort of hazmat suits, but they look like they could be some good lab technicians or assistants. And here, with some Mattel Ghostbusters figures. Once again, these are in their lab outfits, scientists. Style-wise, they don't fit at all with Baxter, but it's the same general type of figure. Now let's check out Hamato Yoshi. He's in his sensei outfit, Master Ninja. Here's this animated Hamato Yoshi next to a couple of NECA movie versions. And these are some fantastic figures. I've actually got 2 of them, as I got a second set for a pretty cheap price. And I don't have the animated Splinter figure, as I really wasn't collecting the animated turtle stuff, more so the movie stuff. But over time, I've accumulated quite a bit of animated turtle figures. They are scaled up, almost the same size next to each other. And now, here's Hamato Yoshi next to a Street Fighter Gen figure. Both have that sort of sensei look to them. And now let's check out Bebop and Rocksteady. 2 80s style punk or thugs. And here they are, after they were mutated. They're actually the only figures from the set that I have both the regular version and the mutated version. Here are both versions of Bebop and Rocksteady. I do remember this 2-pack was super hard to get at the beginning, but it's had a bunch of re-releases since then. Here they are, next to another sort of recently released NECA TMNT animated 4-pack. This is the Channel 6 News April Catwoman pack. It was a pretty cool exclusive pack on NECA's website, but then Target had it later. I got these because it's a bunch of regular civilian type characters, and they had an amazing news camera set. And here, with another Neca TMNT 4-pack. This is the Turtles in Disguise pack. I don't actually have the regular animated turtles by themselves, although I know this pack came with the parts to do that. I just don't really want to take all their clothes off and turn them into turtles. I think it might not be very easy to put them back to the way they are now. I always like these guys. They're so weird looking, kind of cool. And here are a bunch of other NECA animated TMNT stuff that I have. I'll briefly explain why I got each one of these guys. As like I said before, I don't really collect the animated turtle stuff. My overall action figure collection is predominantly Batman related, but there's a reason I wanted each and every one of these guys. And one figure that I really wish I had is the standard April O'Neil. It's a shame to have the Catwoman version and not the regular version. So, starting at the top, we have Slash. He's an evil turtle. I always thought that was really cool. Another mutated turtle, but he fights against them. Then we have Leatherface. He reminds me of Killer Croc. I really got that pack for Slash, but I put Leatherface on my Killer Croc shelf. Next, Wingnut here. Let's not kid ourselves. This guy is definitely a reference and homage to Batman. Bottom row, we have the Vern and Rat King 2-pack. Vern is a regular civilian type character, which appeals to me. And then Rat King kind of reminds you of Ratcatcher from the Batman lore. Next is Krang. I personally wanted to have all the main characters. Krang in his android suit, Shredder, Bebop Rocksteady, and Foot Soldiers. And it may seem weird, but I like mixing the movie Shredder with this android Krang, even though they sure don't fit in together. And then we got Metalhead at the bottom right. He's a robot turtle. He's a good guy. I always wanted him to sort of join the turtles in their sewer lair. I always thought it was kind of cool having a fifth turtle. And then, of course, a couple of Foot Soldiers at the bottom. Now let's check them out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how they fit in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix them with. I love mixing my action figure lines. This is important to me. Since these are NECA TMNT figures, they're typically the 6-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of these smaller action figure lines I collect, and work my way larger. Here they are, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. And here they are, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here they are, next to some Mayfix figures. Then, with some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here they are, with some Mezco 112 collective figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And look at the scale difference. Technically, both these lines are the 112 scale. And here they are, standing next to their NECA brothers. These NECA figures are 7-inch scale, and the NECA TMNT animated are 6-inch scale. But the only ones even close to 6 inches is Bebop, who's slightly taller than 6 inches. Then, with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And now, next to some McFarlane toys. And here they are, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. And finally, next to some Jakks Pacific wrestling figures. So overall, it's a pretty cool action figure set. I will definitely say my favorites are Bebop Rocksteady. As a whole, these guys are a lot more animated than what I'm familiar with in my action figure world. Yeah, I've got plenty of animated TMNT stuff, but I like more realistic figures to fit into my overall action figure world building. Their accessories are absolutely fantastic. Seems like an endless amount of stuff. Sculpt and paint job are excellent. Like I said, a little cartoony for my tastes, but I totally get it. That's what they're based off of, and they fit in great with the rest of the animated NECA Turtles. Articulation, it's okay. Could be a little better. Some of their double jointed knees, like on Hamato Yoshi and Baxter Stockman, almost kind of pointless. Baxter Stockman has his jacket in the way. Hamato Yoshi has those big baggy pants, and it just doesn't look that good. Definitely some opportunities there. As a whole, Bebop's my favorite, then Rocksteady, then Baxter, even though he's so small, and then Hamato Yoshi. These guys have a nice place in my action figure collection. I welcome them. I imagine these will be pretty rare and hard to come by in the long run. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.